Welcome back to Not the Homestead. We're back on our electrical job today. You can see that the spray foam is all done and our rough-in is all done. So what we're doing today is we're drilling some holes for our recessed light fixtures. We want to do those before the sheetrock is taped, and that way if we cause any damage to the sheetrock, the tapers can tape it at that time. We're going to install our electrical panel in the basement and start working on that. Going to put our fixtures in the basement so they'll be light when the power company gets here and we're done. We're just getting as much done as we can now before the house is actually done and cleaned and painted, and then we make a mess. So as you can see, we drilled our holes for our recessed fluorescent snap-in lights, and our drivers are up in there. So we've drilled all those that we can. The sheetrock crew is coming back to finish up the sheetrock, and then we'll finish that. But you'll notice that they've cut around all of our boxes, done a great job there, and everything's good. We'll be able to come back and device that out when we're ready. So yeah, I think we will probably head down in the basement and show you what we've got done on the electrical panel itself, and show you some of the stuff we're going to do today. So come on, let's go down in the basement. All right, so as you saw in the video the other day, or you didn't see because we didn't have any light down here and I couldn't show you, but we did go ahead and we put our 2x4s on the concrete with Tapcon screws. They're a blue screw, hardened screw. You drill the concrete with the hammer drill, then you screw the screw right into the concrete with the impact. So we put those 3 2x4s on before the spray foam company got here because they spray foamed on the concrete wall too. And then we come back and we mounted our plywood, good and solid. And we've mounted our panel. So in this case, we're using a 200 amp sub panel because we needed more spaces for breakers. 100 amp sub panels tends to be a little small in breaker space, and with all the receptacles and stuff we had here, we had a lot more circuits. So we've put in a 200 amp sub panel with 30 spaces. We've got all of our home runs from our rough-in run into the panel and stripped out and labeled. We put our labels back on so we know what they are. We put in a convenience receptacle temporarily for the contractor, so hopefully the utility will get the power hooked up here in the next week, and he'll have a 20 amp receptacle down here that he can use for now. When we finish the basement, we'll do everything different, but you'll also notice we've got our light fixtures roughed in and our smoke detector roughed in. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go ahead and get our ground bar in, make up all of our ground wires. We're going to get our feed cable in from outside. You'll notice it's hard to see in video, but you'll see it when we do it. There's a little funny looking spot in spray foam. That's actually a paper bag in the end of our hole. So we're going to bring our SCR cable in and into the top of the panel. So we'll probably bring you along as we do some of that. Sue will run the camera here and there. We'll bring you back after we got a few things done and just show you what we're going to do. So I'm going to grab some tools and I'm going to get my ground bars installed. So. Do this now. So we've gone ahead and got our ground bars in. We've dressed all of our ground wires into our ground bar. Now we have to deal with our hots and our neutrals, or, you know, however you want to look at that. Some of our circuits, like the smoke detectors, you know, will land into the neutral and the breaker. Some of the circuits get the arc fault breakers or the ground fault breakers, and those, the neutral has to go directly to the breaker. So we'll bring you back when we get closer to done with that and show you the difference in the breakers. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to do a little bit more here. We're going to get our service entrance cable brought in, and then we're going to dress up our light fixtures down here. So we'll bring you back when we get our service entrance cable in here and show you what that looks like. As you can see, we're going to call it a day here. We got all of our wires basically cleaned up inside. We made a list of the breakers we don't have. We got our whole house lightning arrestor or surge suppressor in here. We did not get the service entrance cable put in. That will have to wait for another day. But we did get everything dressed up. We have a list of breakers that we need to get to finish everything. We got our light fixtures in our basement with our bulbs in. So we're in pretty good shape. We're at the point now where we're gonna have to wait till they finish hanging drywall, and we'll come back over probably Monday evening, Tuesday, and we'll drill the rest of our holes for our recessed lights. And yeah, and then we just have to wait until the sheetrock is finished and taped and painted, and then we can come back and put all of our devices, all of our lights in, and wrap that up. We will get our service entrance cable in one of these days on our trip over here. And then we have a garage we have to wire as well. The garage will be pretty straightforward, but we will get that wired. I'm not sure we'll be able to get power to it until the ground thaws out this spring and the contractor's back with his excavator. But we'll end up running our service entrance cable up overhead and right up through that sill. And then we'll go down underground and over to the garage. And we'll bring you along when we wire the garage as well, because there's some stuff in there that will be good for you to know. So yeah, I think that's it. I think we're going to wrap this up and call this a day. So we appreciate you watching. You know, any questions, leave them down below and we'll do our best to answer them. Remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. We are usually pretty entertaining, but really, I do want to point out that we are licensed electricians. So, you know, we're not trying to show you how to do this correctly yourself. We're basically just bringing you along for the ride while we do what we do. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.